I'm Matthew JC. JC All-Stars here. This is Drunken Cow Jerky. This is the best jerky in all the land. Trust me.
It's all a lie. You feel this fight. That's just more fuel for you. Don't lose your mind. It's worth your strife. Take hold. It's all for you.
Yes, so just pray with me. God, we thank you tonight for the opportunity to be here and just glorify you in this way, Lord, to be able to drive race cars and watch them go around the track and work on them. I just pray that you watch over us, Father, and grow us closer to you. If nothing else, just grow us closer to you and help us to glorify you. Thank you, Lord, for the freedom that you've given us to do this, just to pray to you tonight. Thank you for the men and the women that have given us this freedom, and thank you for all the fans that are here to support us and just everybody that helps to make this happen. I thank you for all that you are and loving us unconditionally, and I just pray that we give that back to you. Thank you, Father, for this night. In Jesus' name, amen.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Pony Express Broadcast Network coming to you live tonight. The Drunken Cow Jerky 200 over here at Rolling Thunder Gaming. This is the Speed Freaks season finale live from Daytona International Speedway. Joining me in the booth tonight, we're going to have Midwest Sim Racing owner Josh Metallic. Josh, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for having me. I had a Tuesday night off. It's not a series or a night I normally get to race, and with everyone else offering to help out, I thought I'd do the same, and of all places, they put me in the broadcast booth. So look forward to it. Hope I don't mess anything up, and hope everyone has a good race tonight.
Also joining us in the booth tonight, for right now, pre-race, the number 4, Brian Schilling. He was in the booth with us last night. Brian, one of the admins over here. Brian, what can you tell us about this Speed Freak series?
Well, as you see, we're at Daytona tonight. We alternate between Talladega and Daytona every week. Usually we've got about a 25 to 30 car field every week. I mean, the racing this season has been exceptionally good. I mean, we go from, some races, you may have 3 or 4 cautions. There's times where we've run just with 1. I mean, I can't say enough about the guys that race over here and how good of a job they do.
And Brian, how many laps are we going to be running tonight? And what kind of pit window can we expect?
We're looking at a 70-lap race tonight. The fuel window should be somewhere around 20 laps or so.
All right, so we're gonna plan on a 3-stop race and caution free, and we're just gonna hope for the best tonight. And obviously, thanks to Brian Schilling for joining us in the booth last night, and for being one of the many admins here and putting on this series.
Yeah, I'd also like to thank Terry Bauman. He does a lot of behind-the-scenes work here that a lot of guys don't notice. I mean, the Eliminator series, that's all him. I mean, he puts in the time, compiles points, does all that. Just a lot of other little things too. I mean, and Bones, all this wouldn't be possible this week without his help. Same thing, Sean Prime. The owners over here are just wonderful, great people.
All right. Thanks for giving us a quick rundown, Brian. I'm gonna let you get back down to your car for the last 10 minutes of happy hour, and good luck to you tonight.
All right, thank you.
All right, so there we have it. Get a little rundown there from Brian Schilling, and now we're going to head over and look at tonight's starting grid. Qualifying's over. These guys are in happy hour right now. They've got about 10-11 minutes to go. Let's see who we got on the pole tonight. All right, so here we go. Starting on the pole tonight, the 07 in the Harley-Davidson Chevrolet, Rick Moon. And starting on the outside pole, it's going to be the number 17 of Chuck McClure.
In row 2, we've got the number 90 of Bernie Mobbs and the 201 of Clef Douthit, the previous winner, I believe, in this series this season.
Starting in 5th place is going to be the 09 Drunken Cow Jerky car driven by Joe Simpson. And in P6, the 103 of Carson Krenz.
Bob Seminara on the inside of row 3, and Drunken Cow Jerky teammate BSR driver Mark Newton in the 096.
Starting in 9th place, we've got another RTR admin in the 6th car, Wiley Coate. And right next to him will be the number 72 of Jim Gloud.
In the 6th row, we've got Brian Hogue, who won the Larry Yeager Senior Memorial Friday night, and David Lawson chasing down the championship tonight and won the Bracket Series championship in the Thursday night series. So he's got a lot going on this week.
Starting in 13th place tonight is going to be the 115 of Sean Lockyer. In 14th place, we're going to have the number 80 car of Jeff Crivello.
In row number 8 on the inside, it's ECTR Martin, affectionately known as DMAR, and the guy who basically runs and manages the series and co-runs and owns RTG, Dave Cannon, 003.
And in the next row, we've got a couple announcers. The 00 Ben Beasy starting in 17th, and right next to him will be the Nature Boy Donnie Garrett in that 77 car.
In the 10th row, we've got Mr. Restrictor Plate Genius Guru Tim Nosker in the 088, our points leader, and Cyber Jones, one of the original RTG founding members.
Starting in 21st place tonight, the 049 of Tyler Bergert, and next to him will be the number 4 of Brian Schilling.
And in the 12th row, looks like, we've got 59 Herman Reese, who is looking for a championship actually in tomorrow night's series. And Leroy Mercer in the 038 with the sponsor of the race, Drunken Cow Jerky.
Starting in 26th place tonight, the number 7, Brian Orto. And the car to the outside of him will be the number 99 of Doug Woolley.
And rounding out the field, we've got the 65 of Larry Yeager Jr. and the 67 of Mr. Wayne Pribnow.
So there you have it. We're looking at, I want to say about a 28-car field tonight.
Yeah, they're getting mid-upper 20s. They're hitting that. They're closing in on 30 cars, and it's a really good series. They, there's 2 super speedway series at RTG. Thursdays runs Dega only. Tuesday nights here you get Daytona and Talladega. So you get a little bit of variation on Tuesdays, more so than you would on the other night.
Still 7 minutes to go in happy hour before we get this race under green. Obviously shout out to Drunken Cow Jerky. They are sponsoring this series, and they're going to be giving all 5 flavors, original, hot, ghost, beer bacon, and teriyaki. All 5 flavors are going to be going to the champion who coming into the night, it looks like it is going to be Tim Nofsker. He is 24 points ahead of David Lawson, but with 28 cars in this field, we were doing the math pre-race, and it looks like Tim Nofsker needs to finish in the top 19 to lock in that championship in that 5-pack of jerky from Drunken Cow Jerky.
Yeah, but again, don't forget, and I hate bringing it up. Tim will probably get really mad at me later on, but this isn't the first time he's had a big lead in the points going into the final race. It's realistic damage. Anything can happen. Just in last night's race, first and second with 15 laps to go, final pit stop, one guy blows a motor, the other guy speeds on pit road. They both end up with crummy finishes. So, he's still got to finish. He's got to, preferably be on the lead lap, avoid damage, and if you do get a little bit of damage, there's always a chance of blowing motors, and you see that from time to time. So while he's got the definite edge, I wouldn't cash the check just yet.
So, still looking at this qualifying order here. Last night, I chose the 07 of Rick Moon. He was my pick to win the race. He got caught up in the first caution of the race and had a little bit of engine damage, lost some straightaway speed. I'm going to double down on that, and I'm going to once again pick Rick Moon to go to victory lane tonight.
Yeah, it's a crapshoot. Rick's definitely a capable driver. If I had to pick one out of the blue, I'm going to go with David Lawson. He has to win. He knows he has to win. He's usually a pretty courteous, clean driver, but he's already got one championship last week, and I know he'd like to double that up. So I expect him to be a little more aggressive on the wheel, so to speak, than normal. But pulling out of a hat, I'd probably go with him.
Well, and speaking of David Lawson and Tim Nofsker, we've also got to talk about Clef Douthit. We actually have a series within a series here tonight. So while David Lawson has to win to have any chance of really winning the overall championship, Clef Douthit is definitely going to be looking for a win, because we also have the Eliminator series here tonight, and it's essentially what you see in the Sprint Cup, the chase for the Cup, and they eliminate some drivers every round. They do that all season long here, and we've come down to the final race, and the final 3 are Tim, David, and Clef, and just like real life, whichever one finishes the highest will win that Eliminator championship.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle. Tim is one of the most cerebral racers. I've raced against. He's always working on strategy, looking for lines that are coming or going. He's much more of a proactive than reactive driver. Lawson, he's always clean. He's always in the mix. So I think he'll give Tim a good challenge. And Clough's fast everywhere. I race with him on Mondays and Wednesdays, Tuesdays occasionally. He runs some Thursdays. He's always fast. And again, he's another clean driver. So I don't foresee any of them doing anything to put themselves into bad positions as far as causing wrecks. But 2 and 3 wide Daytona, you can be driving perfectly clean, mind your own business, and you end up in the catch fence before you know it. So it'll be fun to see how it goes throughout the race and where they end up at that last pit stop, who's in front and how aggressive the other two get.
And speaking of anything can happen, and Tim Nofsker, coming into the night with a 24-point lead. Last night we saw our points leader Sean Prime coming into the night. Early on in the race, he lost first gear, and later on in the race, he actually blew a motor. His points lead was a little larger than Tim's going into the night, and he was still able to capture the championship. But we could definitely see some mechanical failures here tonight.
Yeah, basically until 8 people are out of the race, if that even happens, you can't give it to him, and you wouldn't give it to him because, if there's 7 out, he could very well be the 8th. You just don't know. And you're right, if you blow a gear, realistic damage, it's only a matter of time before you lose another gear, or if you go long enough, possibly blow a motor, over revving as you're skipping the gear that's busted. So a lot of questions. We'll see how it goes after the 70 laps tonight here.
All right, so about 60 more seconds here in happy hour, and then we'll get this thing underway. And so there you go, clock's ticking down. Let's go ahead and switch the screen up here and get off of this race announcer desk. There you go, now you guys can see the points there. Donnie Garrett actually, 1 point behind Clef for 3rd place in the points. So, Donnie is also got a little incentive here tonight. Try and finish the season out on the podium in 3rd place.
The Nature Boy is always a factor. He had some rough luck last week, had a problem with his pedals, but up until that point, he was right there at the front like he usually is, contending. So he didn't turn in the qualifying lap tonight, but it won't be long before he's up there.
And we see the 4 car of Brian Schilling was the quickest car out there during happy hour. But Clef, right there, 2nd place. So he's definitely getting ready, trying to make a run at this Eliminator Championship here tonight.
Yep, and as they always say, practice speeds at super speedways are about as worthless as the paper they're on. It's usually meaning they're following, not leading. But it's good to know they can pull up there, and times are pretty tight, in happy hour here, and they're going to be a tight all race once they get going.
So once again, if you're just tuning in, this is the Speed Freak season finale, Drunken Cow Jerky 200, live from Daytona International Speedway. Also a shout out to Operation Rock the Troops, great charity that supports the veterans. We obviously, putting all these races together, we took all the proceeds from all of these races and sent it their way a couple of days ago, and we're gonna get this Drunken Cow Jerky 200 underway
to your cars,
as the drivers have been summoned to pit road to their cars.
Yep, this is that moment where you're making sure you got your gears on the pace lap here. You know, if you have a bad start or something happens to you on the pace lap, it's going to be a really long night for you.
As we heard Brian Schilling say, we're going to be running 70 laps here at Daytona tonight. Looking at approximately 20 laps on a fuel run. These guys normally do not get many cautions, so we'll see if we're able to stay green tonight. And you know, either way, we're probably looking at a 3-stop race here tonight.
Yeah, it depends how the cautions drop. There are guys that it's basically their thing to pit early, come in under, on the clean pit road. That can bite you if it goes green too long. I've actually had races this season where I pit a little bit early, banking on a late caution, and it never came. And twice had to pit with the white flag out in the air. So you'll see some of them coming in maybe 17, 18 laps, and some guys are going to be at the back clutching a little bit, stretching it just a little bit, in the hopes that if it does go green, you know, they may get a half can versus a can, you know, on one of those last pit stops.
Alright, so here we go. Everybody has gotten their cars fired. We've rolled off a pit road. We're out here doing the parade lap. It looked like one car actually was still stuck on pit road. Perhaps some starter trouble on that car. And I'm not sure which car that was. We'll have to see if we lose anybody when this race gets under green here.
Looks like his crew finally got him going. That looks like the 67 Wayne Pribb now, and he is getting to the back of the pack. So I think everyone answered the call to start your engines.
By the way, you see that website down there, www.drunkencowjerky.com. Be sure to head over there during or after the race and order you some jerky. I recommend the beer bacon. It's very good. If you haven't had a chance to try it yet, definitely get you some of that. And green flag, Rick Moon leads us to the green flag.
Rick with a good start. Looked like everyone got a good start. No people slow on the gas there, checking up the field. Looks pretty good so far.
See one car, looks like the 14 down there on the apron. Looks like he might have a little bit of side warping, so he's probably letting everybody go by.
Yeah, he had a little bit of that on the pace lap. They were probably giving him a chance to see if it would clear up before they went green, and it doesn't appear to be the case. So he's going to fall onto the back of this field and hope it clears up soon.
And the 07 of Rick Moon will lead your first lap of the race tonight.
He's got a challenge from the outside, though. Chuck, he's always fast on these tracks. He's got a pretty good group of guys behind him. Clef and Carson, both really good pushers, and you can see them starting to take an advantage on the inside line there.
And we see the 17, Chuck McClure. He's starting to get that high line rolling.
Yep, they're still mostly double file. Looks like a pace lap about 190 miles an hour. There's a few guys at the back just playing it safe, but we've got one big draft. Everyone seems to have held on to it so far.
And it looks like we did have all 28 cars start this race, so we will keep an eye on things. It's certainly possible for Tim Nofsker to lose that 24-point lead, so we'll definitely watch that. Eliminator championship right now, Clef would take that home up there in third place. long way to go. We've got more pit stops to go than we've done laps so far.
Yep, and it's kind of funny. We mentioned him had to be in the top 19. He's running in that exact position right now, and he's doing what I would expect him to do: keep it low, and if there's any trouble up ahead, he's got a chance to move down, avoid it. You don't want to be in that high side, especially this early when you have so much to lose.
The 201 of Clef really doing a good job of pushing Chuck McClure out there in that. It's like a Cartoon Network Scooby-Doo car. Great paint job there, and of course that's a
3 wide.
Of course that's a Drunken Cow Jerky 201 doing the pushing.
3 wide it's definitely possible here. This specific Daytona track and the setup, it is a driver's track. It looks like when you're watching it that all they're doing is mashing the gas and turning left. They are wheeling this thing. It is not a high grip track. It pushes, if you run the low line, it pushes more, and it eats up tires, which is a bit odd or unusual for a track. So while it looks easy, these guys are really working the wheel, working the throttle, checking out the gas, making sure they don't drift up. But the guys on the low side, you're going to see a lot of them take 4 tires about on this first pit stop.
And just a quick points update, Tim Nofsker running in 17th. David Lawson has worked his way up to 3rd, so both of them doing what they need to do at this point in the race.
I told you, Lawson, he got that championship, and he wants more. He's not riding back there waiting. He's heading to the front and doing it right away. Oh, big one, turn 1.
Caution out.
Wonder I got airborne.
Now, over here at Rolling Thunder Gaming, do you guys freeze the field when the caution comes out, or do they race back to the line?
What they do is the field is basically frozen when the yellow comes out. If it's 15 laps or less to go, then we do race back. So at this point, still early in the race, wherever you were when the yellow came out, you'll hold that position around to the start-finish.
All right, and we see Chuck McClure, so we'll retain the race lead. We're going to go ahead and head over to our first caution rewind screen of the day, and Josh is going to keep an eye on potential pit stops here.
Yeah, they're still coming around to take the yellow here. All of our championship contenders got through that. I know Tim spun to the grass avoiding it. He might have caught a bumper or fender from someone, but I think he's in okay shape. The other two were obviously further ahead of the wreck when it happened, I believe.
And here we go. We've got the replay. Let's take a look and see what happens here. Looks like the 07, the 712 involved, the 72. The 096, one of those Drunken Cow Jerky cars, takes a hard hit to the outside wall. 65, 59, a lot of cars caught up in this.
Yeah, it looks like Rick Moon was trying to get lined up on DMAR, ECTR Martin the 43, and got the bumper hook and went down into the inside line there and happened up in 5th and 6th place. And we'll take out a pretty good group of guys right when you head into the turn.
Now, we hate to see that happen to the 712 Bob Seminara, but in a way, I'm kind of glad I got to go back and look at his paint job. You see, he's got the United States Postal Service all over that thing, and you know what? That's that's where I work, and that's where the Pony Express name came from. Just playing off of what I do, and obviously we're a long ways away from riding horses across the country and delivering mail these days.
Yeah, Bob's a good guy. He missed some races during the middle part of the season with some computer problems, and he just got back. So it's a tough break to see him take such a rough ride this early on. We'll see if he can continue and how fast he'll be. Speaking of pit stops, everyone did pit. There were a few that took 2 tires. I think some of the guys that spun, there were a few 4 tires. The 07 hasn't pitted, but that's just because he's serving a penalty. Basically, he's accepting responsibility for the wreck, or at least he thinks it might be his. So the way they do penalties here at RTG is you pit the second time by the second caution lap and do 4 tires. So you'll see the 07 dip down to pit road, and everyone else will most likely stay on track.
All right, so yep, like you said, we see the 07 heading down pit road. Looks like the 038 of Leroy Mercer also heading that way. The 00 Ben Beezer and about 5 other cars, all topping off some fuel here. Because we're probably going to restart with about 60 laps to go. So those guys, they're going to have a little bit more fuel and try a little different fuel strategy here tonight.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound like much pitting a lap or 2 later under yellow, especially this early in the race. But they've been known to go caution free, and if you pit with 60 to go versus 62, 63 to go, if we were to go caution free, that's 1 extra pit stop for those that did not stop. It sounds a little too early to be thinking fuel strategy, but when you do have races where there's so few yellows, when you do get them, you take the opportunity to pack the fuel cell as much as you can. It has changed the finishing order of several races. Something that happens so early in the way people approach it.
And despite the realistic damage and some hard hits there, and how many cars were involved, it looks like we do still have 28 cars in this race.
Yeah, no one's retired just yet. We'll see how they are once they go back to green here. Bob, really, he didn't hit that hard. He kind of got up in the air. He came down someone else's car. Someone else bumped him. He's definitely got damage, but he's not going to be riding around at 160 miles an hour, type damage. So, we'll see if he can keep the draft. Be curious, how many of the other guys are going to be struggling. You might see him break into 2 packs, the beat-up brigade and the guys that are still unscathed.
Now we talked during the pre-race about mechanical failure. One thing we saw last night, we saw the 09 of Joe Simpson just have a little contact with another car, and he probably didn't think anything of it, but later on in the race he ended up losing a motor. So we'll keep an eye if on those people involved in this first caution, and it could still come back to bite them later on in the race.
Yeah, that's that's realistic damage for you. You scrape the wall, get pancaked on the right side. You wouldn't think it'd do anything to your motor, your gearbox, your transmission, and halfway through the race, you're riding along and it just goes poof. I've had it happen. I've seen it happen. We just saw it, as an example, just last night. Looks like pace car lights are out. We're going to be going green this next time by.
All right, the 17 of Chuck McClure will lead you guys back to the green flag, and the 201 Drunken Cow Jerky car, it will be starting on the outside, and he's got some help there. We see 2 Drunken Cow Jerky cars. The 09 of Joe Simpson, who lost that motor that we were talking about last night, he's right there starting on the outside of the second row, and then we've got the 103 of Carson Krenz starting in third, and don't look now, but here comes the 18 of David Lawson. He's still trying to work his way up front.
Yep, you got some guys that are definitely used to being up at the front. Carson's another one of them. He actually just switched jobs and has been MIA the last 2 weeks. But judging by the fact he's here tonight, I'll guess that he's settled in and he's back to racing. He's probably really ready to try to go up there and lead some laps. He's been away for a few weeks here.
And here we go. That Dodge Charger heads down pit road. Chuck McClure leads them to the green.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if with that early wreck there, if guys settle down a little bit or not. When the green flag has a funny way of making you forget what just happened and going after it again. So we'll see how they play it here in the next lap or two.
Before the race tonight, Rick Moon popped in here and thanked me for picking him to win last night. Now I'm starting to wonder if I'm jinxing people. 2 nights in a row I picked Rick Moon, and 2 nights in a row he was somehow involved in the first caution of the race. So I'm sorry to Rick for picking you again.
Yeah, I'll be racing tomorrow and Thursday, and I'm going to request that you do not pick me to win.
I'm gonna pick the 22 car to win since I drive that and we don't have to worry too much.
We should be safe then. Highline's getting going.
Got those 2 Drunken Cow Jerky cars leading the way up high. Got the number.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I mean to step on you, but yeah, that low side, it's everyone wants to be there because it's safer, but with as much as the setup is pulling on you, on the low side, you're scrubbing tires. As we see some 3-wide, peaking 3-wide, that's 712. He's, for someone that's damaged, he's sure racy. He may not have much damage at all. But yeah, that low side, you're sawing on the wheel extra hard. You're scrubbing your tires. You're losing speed. That middle lane, you're just, it's free. It's a lot more free, and you'll see the inside line make gains down the or in the turns, but once they get on that straightaway, you'll see that outside lane just stretch it out on them.
Yeah, man. Perhaps I should have picked one of these Drunken Cow Jerky cars to win the race. I guess I didn't give much thought to it, but these guys definitely have some extra incentive tonight, as this is their title race.
It's their title race. There's free food on the line. Who's not going to race hard for that?
Yeah, and like we said, that 201 of Clef that is out there leading, if he wins this race, he wins the Eliminator Championship. So lots of different things in play tonight.
Trophies and Drunken Cow Jerky. It's a winning night.
See that?
Donnie's starting to peak up high a little bit there. Donnie's getting a little racy. He's not one to ride around. He's going to be looking to make a move here on the 80 pretty soon, I will bet you. But there we go.
We see the 77 Monster Energy Dodge, driven by the Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett, looking low. That highlight.
Someone, sorry, I didn't mean to jump on you there. I do see Bones is making a run up top, too. He's getting in the mix with it also.
That eye line is looking really strong. I know the bottom might be safe, but the high line continues to pull 4 or 5 cars ahead. So I don't know if maybe Donnie will fare better. And in fact, now David Cannon jumps to the bottom, and maybe he'll fare better leading that low line.
If they keep increasing their numbers, you'll see guys, once they clear the low side, some of them will drop down low, and so far, everyone that's done it has dropped back. We'll see if it changes here. Once the low side has much bigger numbers, but the front 3 in particular on the high side, they're running pretty close and pushing each other pretty good, and they're winning out even with a bigger group of cars down beneath them.
And we see the 14 of Brian Hogue getting back up there in the mix. It looks like his connection has stabled out.
Look at Bob there, someone there in the 712. I don't know what they built his car out of, but it doesn't look damaged, and he is keeping right up with these guys. He wouldn't even know he was in a wreck about 10 laps ago.
Oh, man, now it looked like a little bit of side warp there from the 18. that high line continuing to pull ahead here. There's the 115 of Sean Lockyer.
Yeah, you can see the low side keeps dropping. I think Chuck started on the low side, and then Donnie cleared him from the high side, went low. Donnie dropped back. Dave Cannon, he cleared the high side, went low. He's dropping back, and now someone just dropped down. Looks like Brian Hogue, I believe, in the 14. Whoa, they're getting a little racy there, almost on the apron.
And you see that 3 car out there, the Sam's Club. That is David Cannon, one of the RTG owners here. And we obviously want to give a special shout out to him for dipping into his pocketbook and making a lot of these broadcasts happen.
Yeah, Dave Cannon made basically all of them happen. I know the MSR group paid for last Thursday, but everything after that has been Dave Cannon and Terry Bauman. So everyone owes them a big thanks. Putting these on and doing it without taking donations. It's one thing to put on a race, with the money that the drivers, pay out to keep the server going, but, they don't like taking that money to use it for these things. It's something they do as an extra thank you to the drivers that show up and support the league and the series. So, for everyone that's been donating, this money that you've given, it's not paying for this race.
And we saw David Cannon finally gave up on that low line and went back to the high line. The high line is about 8 cars ahead of the low line now. It's just that low line, at least at this point in the race, is not being successful.
Yeah, it's more guys are starting. You can see that it's basically about 50-50. Most of the guys on the high side are out front of the guys who are on the low side, and the guys on the high side are more tightly wound up. Looks like Bob, you can see the effects of that damage. He's not able to keep up with the guy ahead of him, but he is fast enough to keep up. But yeah, more guys are moving to the high side, realizing that's the way to go. Oh, here we go.
And we got another big caution.
Yeah, it's going to take out a few of them, I think.
I was just getting ready to move back up front and show you those two Drunken Cow Jerky cars leading this race, and we caught just the tail end of that caution, and so we will have to head back to the caution. It looks like so we had one. That's 2 cautions in 20 laps there, and this is going to make it 50 laps to go. So we will definitely see. I'm sure everybody's going to pit here.
Yeah, everyone's going to stop at least for gas, probably 2 tires. Obviously, the guys that were taking evasive moves to miss that are going to be taking 4. And it does look like all the guys that are still in the points race, they're avoiding the wreck so far.
As we head back to this caution rewind here and try to see what happened. Alright, as we take a look at the replay here, we see the 103 of Carson Krentz jump down to the bottom side. Perhaps the 17 might have had to check up a little bit there. But either way, these guys were running so close. It was just, for a lot of these cars, nowhere for anybody to go. A lot of cars caught up in this one.
Yeah, it looks like one of the guys made a move down low. Chuck was probably checking up just slightly to not hit the guy too hard, and Brian Hogue never got the memo that there was a checkup coming, and it was at the worst possible spot entering the turn. If that was in the middle of the backstretch, they bounce off each other and continue on. But when that's going into the turn, that just spells disaster.
So since we're under caution here again, this is the DrunkenCowJerky.com 200, and we have somebody in this field who knows more about Drunken Cow Jerky than anybody else. So we're gonna see if we can't get him in the booth here for a minute and tell us some more about Drunken Cow Jerky.
Yeah, let me find him real quick here. Here's Leroy.
Leroy Mercer. This is Mark and Josh up in the booth. How you doing,
How's it
sir?
going, fellas? I'm doing good. Good to see y'all.
This is the Drunken Cow Jerky 200, and we know there ain't nobody out there on the track that knows more about Drunken Cow Jerky than you. So why don't you tell us about them?
Well, Drunken Cow Jerky started years ago when Mark Heyman and Richard Heyman, the owners of Drunken Cow Jerky, the little backstory behind that is their dad used to cook absolute great steak, and he used to marinate, and he used whiskey in it. Well, for years and years and years, they used that recipe, and everybody always talked about how good the steaks were and everything like that. So Mark started making beef jerky out of it, and Mark was in the technology industry for many years, and he got in a position to where he just wanted to try something different, and he had been making this jerky at home, and his friends just raved about it. They just thought it was the greatest thing ever. So he took a gamble, went out on his own, and started, producing it for the masses, so to speak. Got a deal with the local adult beverage store there in the Dallas area, and made a deal with them, started stocking it in there, and it just started flying off the shelves, and it just started gaining popularity. I ran into Mark basically doing a little networking on Facebook, made a deal with him. He became the official sponsor of Bomb Squad Racing, and we worked together, and we seen that there was a market out here for sim racers, and we wanted to try to get the word out to the sim racers and stuff like that. So that's how sim racing and Drunken Cow Jerky all came together here.
All right, we appreciate you telling us a little bit more about them, and I know we rode along with you there, and we saw you make your pit stop, top off on fuel, and I see that you're playing it safe early on, riding around a little closer to the back. But I wanted to let you know that we've got 2 Drunken Cow Jerky cars leading this race at this point.
Well, that's a good thing. We're kind of trying to cover all our bases here. Few of us are working together back here. Got my teammate, my BSR teammate, Tyler Burgett, with us back here, and working with Yeager Motorsports driver Larry Yeager. My other fellow BSR member, BSR Beezer, Ben Beasy. So we're communicating with each other, trying to figure out what the best strategy is here. And we've dodged some bullets, that's for sure. We're still all good, clean. I ain't even knocked the wax off this thing yet, so we're gonna see what happens here.
Leroy, it looks like you guys are playing split strategy. I see your teammates on the front row. I see you on pit road. Is this something you guys did by design, or is it just kind of based on where you started and how the race was going, or what's your plan?
Well, Josh, it's kind of a split. It's kind of a split philosophy here. You've got the philosophy of staying out front and missing everything, and then you've got the philosophy of riding in the back and waiting until the herd kind of thins, so to speak. Pardon the pun, Drunken Cow Jerky. And so it's basically just 2 different philosophies. We figure, see who has the best philosophy. I know those guys up front, they're doing good. They've missed everything. We've been fortunate because running in the back, that means you have to miss everything that happens. So we're just going to play this out and see how it works. Maybe advance through attrition here and see what we got. Still early, still got a lot of time left, so we'll see how it plays out.
All right, the lights are out on the pace car. We will let you get back down to the race lobby and focus on this restart here. Thanks for joining us, and perhaps we'll be talking to you after the race.
Yeah, tell everybody to visit www.drunkencowjerky.com and tell them a sim racer. Tell them you're a sim racer in the special instructions. Mark will really appreciate that, and that'll kind of let him know that the word's getting out among the sim racing community, and thanks for the job y'all are doing.
All right, thank you. Good luck with the rest of your race.
All right.
And we just quick update as the car's going to pull off and we're going to go back to green. We have lost 2 cars. We've lost the 69 of Wayne Pribnow and the 096 of Mark Newton, which was a Drunken Cow Jerky car. So we have lost one of those cars. But we are back to green and we've got 47 laps to go.
Still a long ways to go. A few guys with damage. They're not wasting any time. Looks like the Drunken Cow Jerky guys have teamed up on the high side, and yeah, we'll see after the field separates with some of the guys taking damage. You're going to see some guys start to drop off and probably form their own pack.
We saw the 201 get a good jump there and get in front of the 09, but here comes David Lawson in the 18, and he finally makes it to the point of this race.
Yep, he's seeing cars get damaged, cars drop out. He knows, the more bad luck others have, the more it hurts his chances, as long as it's not Tim getting the bad luck. So Tim's doing what he needs to do. He's avoiding the wrecks. Lawson's doing what he needs to do, and that's to be out front.
And remember, the 201 and the 18 are battling for the Eliminator Championship. So David Lawson, he's trying to win 2 of them here tonight. Right now, Tim Nofsker is running 17th, though, so he is safely in the points lead as he runs.
Yeah, he's in a sketchy spot. I mean, he is at the back. But again, if trouble happens, he's got about 5 or 6 cars behind him that may not see it in time. And I've been in that spot where you're far enough up to see it, but not far enough back to avoid it. And he's got about 15 ahead of him and 10 behind him. He's kind of right in the bullseye if something happens. He is low, which is an advantage, but he's not what you would say a safe zone, I guess, using today's terms. But hopefully they go green for a while and it's a non-issue.
And now we see that eye line is getting rolling again. 201 Clef is pulling back out to the lead.
Clef's looking for a championship. Lawson's looking for a championship. Tim's looking to survive, and there's a lot of other guys who are looking for a win and some face time here on TV.
As we see the 90 of Bernie Mobbs running P3 and the 80 of Jeff Crivello P4 and Brian Ordo in the 71 coming into the picture now.
Yeah, Bernie he's a fast and clean driver, very nice guy. Jeff is the entertainer of the group most nights, and Orto he's going to super speedways, and he actually just won on what's called RTR Super Speedway, which is basically Talladega with no banking. So it is a super speedway technically, and that was maybe a week or 2 ago. So several capable drivers. Looks like a couple guys are peaking 3 wide, but maybe they might go up on the very top side now.
And that's the 07 of Rick Moon climbing back up here into this lead pack.
3 wide.
The
See if anyone goes with them or not.
99 of Doug Woolley there in the middle, as well as David Cannon. I think these guys are just going to hang Rick Moon out.
Yeah, Rick's got a one-way ticket to the back unless someone cuts him a break, and I don't see that happening anytime soon.
So here we go. The first 7 or 8 cars are single file, and now here goes David Cannon trying to reestablish that low line.
Yeah, he's going to need a little bit of help there. He's kind of on an island by himself there. We'll see if someone lets him in, or someone falls in behind him and tries to push that low side up again.
I want to give a quick shout out here to one of my affiliates, Race LM Servers. They provide all the servers over here at RTG, as well as BSR and ECT, a couple other leagues that have people running out here tonight. So great job by Race LM on their servers, the best servers in the business in my opinion. And also, they provide us with the cool race cast and everything that allows us to show you some cool lap times and whatnot.
Yeah, they've been pretty good to us. We made the move to them sometime last year as David Cannon starts over that low side. Yeah, I run 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a week when I can, and I can't remember a single issue with the servers. You know, in the past we've had issues where they crashed or they started getting really high pings and everyone's warping all over. We haven't had any problems in the year plus we've been with them, so we've been very happy.
Looks like the 3 and the 03, David Cannon and Carson Krenz down there on the bottom, just all by themselves and really getting railroaded right now. And here comes the 088. We haven't seen him tonight, but he's coming into the picture.
Yeah, he's still in that just inside the top 20. He's keeping it low. And
we just lost David Cannon.
Yeah, he just disappeared. We'll see if he pops back on the screen here or not. That's always nerve-wracking when you're right behind the guy and he just disappears. You don't know if he's coming back on track in a second or two or if he's just dropping out. It looks like he did fall through, so he's going to have to jump in here and hope for a yellow so he can get back on the lead lap.
And we have had 2 cautions, so it certainly could happen here for Bones. We hate to see that happen. Obviously, you know, it's a tough break for a guy in his own series and a broadcast race that he helped pay for to just all of a sudden disconnect like that. We didn't see any connection issues from him at all tonight.
Yeah, it says he fell through. He definitely didn't disconnect. I don't know if it's an issue on his end or you know, something else happened, but hopefully he gets back in here soon. We have had an instance before where someone dropped out and got lucky with the yellows and made their way back into contention and actually win a race. Someone dropped out, won a race. So, you know, I don't see that happening this time around. You know, hopefully we don't get yellow fever, but you know, if he wants any chance, he's going to get in here pretty soon.
Well, last night's winner actually was the lucky dog on that final caution. First place and third place were the 2 lucky dogs.
Watch out there. Oh, boy, in the back, 59, 088. They got someone got a taste of the wall there.
See Donnie
right
Garrett.
next to Tim there.
Donnie Garrett's in there. The 4 of Brian Schilling. 65, Larry Yeager.
Yep, Beezy's there. I have to go back and look again, but that was a good job by those guys not wrecking. I think someone may have gotten a little damage there bouncing off the wall, but everyone's still continuing. And we got a fight for 5th, guys. So this is what I was waiting to see. You know, if the middle line's going to work and the low side's not doing very well, you know, someone's going to have to go to the top, you know, the very top. And if guys start doing that, you will see that middle lane get a real challenge. And I think guys are starting to come to the conclusion that the low side's just not working. We're going to have to go another way. And you can see Tim, Donnie, Brian Schilling, looks like Demar, Beasy, and Doug Woolley's up there. So if they start making progress, you're going to see a lot more jumping up there, and that middle line will become the, in effect, low line. So that'll put a new dynamic into how they race it.
Now we are halfway through this fuel run, but we are closing in on the midpoint of this race. And Pony Express Broadcast Network, we always do a special salute to our veterans at the midpoint of every race that we broadcast. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. We're gonna go silent here in the booth for a minute or two and roll this veteran salute video for you, and we'll keep the race action up in the corner for you. back to the race action. As always, thank you to all the veterans, past and present, especially the ones out here in this race, including second place runner, the '09 Joe Simpson. He is active duty Navy, and there's many other veterans out here in the field. So thank you to all the veterans.
Yeah, I see a few guys looking. Tim's looking low. They're getting back into 2 wide. When we were in that break there, I don't know if you noticed, but that middle lane got a real challenge from the extreme high side. And just like in the early parts of the race where the low side had more numbers but the high side was winning, you saw 4 cars that were running the high side keeping up with the entire pack that was running the middle lane. So the theme here is the higher up the track you go, the more strong you're going to be, the more speed you're carrying off of the turns. And I'm sure a lot of guys notice that. And when they get down to the end of the race, guys that run the middle, that are in the back, are going to move high, and they're going to move up, and then you're going to have a group of guys that are still back there, and they're going to see a wide open low lane for the taking. And before you know it, we get down to the end, you'll see some 3-wide racing, and you just have to hope that everyone can hold their line, because like I said, tires are an issue here. It does push the lower down the track you go, so it'll make for a real interesting finish here, I'm sure.
And it looks like we've actually had Rick Moon as well as Wiley Coate go a lap down.
Yeah, they've both been in at least 1 wreck. I'm sure that's what's got them off the pace, as we still see Team Drunken Cow Jerky 1-2. Bernie, he's had a good race. He's been up there the whole time. Crivello's up there, and you have that high line starting to creep up again. I guess that's the middle line technically. But yeah, we should be getting pretty close to some pit stops here, I would think. Oh, we got a big one.
So we are going to come under caution here, just before green flag pit stops. We're probably about to start.
And it looks like that low side tires are starting to give up. Looks like someone from the low side drifted up into the middle lane there, and that's what caused that one, it appears.
So we're going to go ahead and head to the caution rewind.
Caution south. Caution south.
And we're back. Here we go. We're going to take a look and see what brought out this caution. Looks like it might have been contact between the 4 and the 99 there. 17, 115 involved, the 038 involved.
Yeah, the 99 drifted up, and I know I've probably said it too many times here, but I'm telling you, on that low side, the tires wear, and it does start to push, and I think we were closing in on some pit stops, and I'm sure he had that wheel fully cocked to the left, trying to keep it down, and the tires were just screeching the whole way through. Again, I don't know how many wrecks Tim can avoid, but he had another one right in his front windshield and managed to get through it unscathed again. So still, I think all of our championship contenders, both in the Eliminator and the overall points championship, are undamaged and still out there full speed.
Josh, who do you think we should give a holler under this caution here?
I would say let's get Mr. Bernie Mops. He's been running up front most of the night. I imagine he's got something for him at the end. He's just biding his time. I'd be curious what his thoughts are.
Bernie Mobbs in the number 90 car. This is Mark and Josh up here in the Pony Express Broadcast Network booth. How you doing tonight, sir?
Pretty good, thanks. How about you guys up there?
We're doing good. How's that 90 car handling for you?
Really good tonight. Yeah, no problems at all. It's sticking to the track like glue.
Bernie, you ran most of that last sequence there right behind the Drunken Cow Jerky guys. Are you working with them, or are you just kind of biding your time, waiting to make a move earlier, or is it a co-opetition? Do you have anything planned for them once we get down to the end?
Right now I'm hanging tough with them. They're doing a real good job, and I'm hoping at the end we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a tricky one.
You guys are running low a lot that time around. It looks like, from what I'm seeing, the further down the track you run the turns, the more it wants to push, and as you go higher up, it seems to stick a little bit more. Is that accurate, or does your car feel connected every lane you try?
It's a little bit up in the middle lane. We dropped to the lower lane, just getting ready for the pit stops.
All right, Bernie. Thanks for joining us under this caution, and we'll let you get back down there and tighten up your seatbelts. And best of luck to you here in the final 35 laps or 25 laps.
Thank you very much. I'd like to put out a call to all the guys at Drunken Cow Jerky. It's been a great sponsor this year.
Good luck to you rest of the way, Bernie.
Thank you.
Now we see the 3 car on our screen. David Cannon is back in the race. He's being shown as 6 laps down. We'll have to see how many of those laps he's able to get back, as we do have cars who would be more eligible for the lucky dog before him. Rick Moon and Wiley Coate are both 1 lap down.
Yeah, and I think those 2 might be lucky dogs this time around. I think they got lapped a couple laps prior to the wreck, and I think with them pitting under caution here, that put them back to a lap down. But I think they're going to get lucky dogs, and if we get another quick yellow, it'll go to Dave Cannon. But we're pretty much out of laps. They'd have to basically wreck every lap they went green to get them back on track, and I definitely don't see that happen.
Now, is David Cannon gonna get a waiver on here, or do you guys not do that?
We do, and that's a good point. He's probably pretty good on fuels. He came back just a few laps ago, so he's got nothing to lose. He's not at risk of losing any more positions, being 6 laps down. So it makes total sense to stay out and get a free lap there. And I'm not sure where he is in the points, but if he can make up a couple laps and we have a big wreck, make his way back in the top 20, may do something for him. But I imagine he'll be heading around. There he goes right now, actually. So, yep, you can put him at 5 down when we go green.
And that's actually going to move him up 1 spot. That'll put him ahead of the 712 of Bob Seminara. So, good thing that Cannon was able to get back in this race, and a lucky break there for the 07 and the 6 car, getting a lucky dog.
Yeah, it's a tough break for Bob. He took off on a flight in turn 1, and I thought he was done, and we go back to green. He's mixing it up too wide on the high side. So I don't know if you call it secondary damage, another wreck, but his car did better than I thought it would, and it's unfortunate his night ended a little bit early. And I do see lights are out here. We got the Drunken Cow Jerky guys up front. They're definitely trying to put some TV time for their sponsor tonight.
We see the 80 there. Jeff Carvello is going to restart this race in third place. And now here's somebody we haven't seen up front all night, the 00, Ben Beezer. He was in the booth with us last Thursday, and he'll be in the booth with us again this Thursday.
Yeah, he's been playing the role of pusher more than pushy. Yeah, I saw him working the high side, and he's got 2 stout drivers ahead of him. And like I said, I think the high line is the place to be. So you may see him in the top 3 fighting for the lead here pretty soon once we go green.
And there we go, pace cars off, and these 2 Drunken Cow Jerky cars are going to lead us back to green flag racing. Once again, the 201 able to get a good start and jump up there in front of the 09 of Joe Simpson. Let's see if the 80 of Jeff Carvello and Brian Ordo and those guys down there on the low line can make anything happen.
Yeah, they as soon as they go green, the 09 201 team up, and it looks like that low line's getting a bit of a run here. I think Jeff Carvello's out on the point right now.
And here we go. Only 25 laps to go. These guys are still going to have to pit one more time, but it's getting time to head to the front as we see the 088, your points leader, up here in the top 5 for the first time tonight.
Yeah, that's what he does. He, as you can see, the 80 made a move to the top side. I think that'll be good for him and keep him out front. I think those other 2 guys are going to start eating him up on the high side, but with him taking that spot, all they're going to do is push him further ahead. And yeah, you're right about Tim. We're down to about 1 pit stop, and that's about the time he starts making his way to the front here. Yeah, man, those front cars are pushing. Those top 3 look like they're attached, and same with the bottom 3.
Brian Ordo still down there leading that low line, trying to make something happen. The 90, we spoke to him, Bernie Mobbs, also down there. And we see the 38. We talked to Leroy earlier, and this is the first time we haven't seen him this far forward tonight, as well as the 65 of Larry Yeager, and the 43 as well, ECT Richard Martin up there.
Yeah, he goes by DMAR, and he is very good on these tracks. He's got a couple of wins on Thursday. I don't know what his record is here on Tuesday specifically, but he knows how to win on these tracks, and you can see Ben Beasy there. Well, now the Carson goes low, and Beasy decides to fall in on the middle lane there. We'll see if he makes a move up top or not once he gets a little more help. And there he goes.
And it looks like thanks to those 2. Oh, Joe Simpson ducking out. Perhaps he's decided he's done pushing tonight.
And we got 3 wide behind them. Oh, boy, they're getting close down there. Herman's able to keep it down, but you can see how much he's struggling to keep that car on the low side when you got 2 on the outside of him. Still 3 wide. And 3 wide at the front, too. They're getting racy now. There's no more riding this out. They're going to race. We're going to have a 3 wide fight all the way across the top 12 here.
Here we go. Ben Beasy running that top line. We got the 80 in the middle, and the 09 now taking the race lead. The low line, the first time we've seen the low line really work like that.
Well, and the guy that's pushing is darn good. That's Carson, and Carson made a move to the middle. Again, these guys are seeing, oh boy, this is a traffic jam. Oh, that low line's struggling now. Look at that.
Here we go. The 09 and the 103 battling for the lead. The 80 car there in the middle, trying to lead that middle line back up there. Ben Beasy nearly takes it 4 wide.
4 wide.
And we are 4
wide. Oh, man. Unbelievable. 3 wide at this particular track is really hard. 4 wide's darn near impossible. It's one thing to do at Talladega with grip. It's another when your car doesn't want to turn, you're skating all over the place. To do that 4 wide, that is much tougher than it just looked.
And that's just, you know, a testament to the skill of drivers who run over here in all of the series at RTG, RTR, MSR, all you guys.
Yeah, and you can see they all said enough of that. Carson was the last one to get that message, but they went double file pretty quick. I think they got enough of a scare. But again, that is really tough to do at this track. Knowing the setup and the track, I'm shocked that no one got into anyone, and I was just waiting for the yellow to come out at that point.
Here we go, 20 laps to go. So we are within the fuel window to make it to the end, and so now we'll just sit back and see who will be the first taker tonight to attempt a green flag pit stop.
Yep, and a couple interesting things here. You'll see the Drunken Cow Jerky guys, Clef Douthit and Joe Simpson. Clef's got his teammate Leroy behind him. They had been all working in one line, but they're split up. And Jeff Crivello, who's kind of been patiently waiting, you know, mostly in the top 5 all night. You know, it's not like he's been sitting at the back. He's been right up there, but now he's at the very front, and he is looking good. And you notice here with 18 to go, don't be surprised if you start seeing guys pitting. If there's anyone that's expecting a caution before this race is over, this would be the time to pit. You know, find yourself a buddy or two, a drafting partner. If you pit and a caution comes out in the next 5 or 10 laps, when they all go into pit under yellow, you're going to pass them all and you'll be the leader. So you may see some interesting strategies here play out really soon. And we're 3 wide again, up about the 7th place.
I'm having some slight technical difficulties here. I'm still here though. We are 3 wide, back there in the 3rd, 4th, 5th row. I gotta say, yeah, it's a hell of a time for your mouse battery to go dead.
Things always go bad at the wrong time. But yeah, they're you know, everyone's still holding suit. Looks like Leroy's going up top with Richard Martin, and I think that's Demar Benbeezy up there. But again, low side's holding on. You know, we'll see. I'm betting someone's going to start pitting here in the next few laps to get out of this mess, because this is where you have the big one. You know, 1 pit stop or less to go. Everyone's 3 wide. Someone's going to make a decision here pretty soon, I'll bet.
Got about 15 laps to go here. These guys are still good on fuel for another 10 laps, but they are obviously within the window. We see the 088 and the 18 there, battling for not just the points title, but the Eliminator title as well. Also the 201, the 3rd car that is in the running for that Eliminator championship. So all 3 cars here in the top 10 trying to bring home that Eliminator title, as we are 3 wide.
High side's coming again, and all 3 guys behind Leroy are very good drafters. That high line's going to get going even with less numbers. You might see Leroy fighting for the lead by the time they get into 3. He's getting a run. Looks like Clef jumped ahead of him. Look at that. You know, Jeff gets put in the middle there, but that high line going into 3 is now in the lead.
All right, there we go. I had to pull the 22 mouse into pit road real quick, swap out couple batteries there. Had to I was losing my gauges and whatnot, but we are good to go. We see 3 wide here, back in about 15th place.
Yeah, Carson, he gets up there, and then they bail on him. It's about the third time or so where he's helped the High Line get up there, and then they ditch him. So I'm sure he's going to remember that when we get down to the end and someone's looking for help from him. He's going to remember who bailed on him and who, which appears to be no one right now, stuck with him.
The 09, Joe Simpson, still your race leader. Brian Ordo pushing. We see the 201, the 088, and the 18, the 3 eliminator contenders, all side by side. Whichever one of those 3 cars finishes the highest will be your eliminator champion tonight.
Yep, Tim's right behind Bernie. Again, Bernie, Orto, Joe Simpson, they've all had good races. They've all been up the front all race long. We'll see if we get a green flag pit stop. It's going to be really interesting to see if anyone makes a mistake, speeds, spins. It'll really shake things up here, and there won't be a lot of time to make up if you have a mistake, because we'll be under most likely 10 laps to go at that point.
And we see the 088, Tim Nosker, moving up to the high side, trying to work his way to the lead. We've got about 12, 13 laps to go here. We're going to go ahead and run our Drunken Cow Jerky commercial before we get to these green flag pit stops. So enjoy this Drunken Cow Jerky commercial and keep your eye on the action up in the top left corner.
Accept no less than you deserve. Circle of hate you inspired. Self-hate desire makes you a liar. It's not like you've been wrong. No question you're that strong. No words can never hold you down. They said we'd never get it. They said we'd never win. They said we'd never get it. Never doubt me. They said we'd never get it.
I'm Matthew JC. JC All-Stars here. This is Drunken Cow Jerky. This is the best jerky in all the land. Trust me.
Never doubt me. It's all a lie. You feel this fight. That's just more fuel for you. Don't lose your mind. It's worth your strife. Take hold. It's all for you.
And we're back. I apologize for that minor technical difficulty. Still should have had the race feed up there in the top left corner. Didn't happen, but that was a quick word from our sponsor tonight, Drunken Cow Jerky. Still under green here. 10 laps to go. The 09 Joe Simpson still your race leader. We see a couple lappers coming into play here, but everybody's able to safely navigate through them.
Yeah, and you're seeing more and more guys go to the low side, getting ready to make that final pit stop here. And I don't see any hands in the air. I haven't heard anyone making any, suggestions they're getting ready to pit. But you can see it coming. You know, when you start to see it at single file, you know it's soon here.
And here we go. We're single file all the way back to about 15th place. So these guys, 9 laps to go. They've got to have about 4 laps of fuel left. So we're going to see, Josh, in your experience, we know you run a super speedway series on Thursday nights at Talladega. How many pit partners are you looking for when you make this final pit stop?
Man, it's you want enough. If you could get 3 or 4 total to go, and you see, looks like we got the first taker here going in by himself. If you can get 3 or 4, it's a gamble because you're not going to be as fast with the 3 or 4 car pack as you are this 20 car pack. But if you pit, and you're only going to do 1 can, so you're not going to be in there as long as you normally would anyway. But if you're in the back or if you're damaged, I'm pitting early because if someone wrecks coming into the pits and the yellow comes out, your pit stop will be done. And when they go into pit, you're going to cycle around to the front. So if I'm in the back and I know I don't have the car to win, I'm pitting sooner rather than later. And I'm just hoping that, my pit stop's fast enough where I can keep up with them. As you see the leaders
Here we go,
and
race
several
leader.
takers. Here we go. Watch out. Now they're 4 wide entering the pits.
Look at that, and everybody
Clean, too. Everyone
in
got on
clean.
there.
Didn't even see any tires locked up. Excellent job by all those leaders coming in.
And again, if the yellow were to come out now, and I'm definitely not trying to jinx this of all things, but, these guys are good. They made a clean pit stop. They get out there. There's enough cars in the draft. If something were to happen and, they would wind up in the front again, if the yellow did happen between now and when the other cars pit.
Lots of different strategies here. We saw the 201 take right sides, the 09 take left sides. It looked like the 103 perhaps took a little less fuel than those guys and beat that whole group off of pit road there. So we'll see how the things shake out.
Second group just pitted too. I didn't mean to jump on you there, but they came in clean too. I don't know if any of these guys are going to lose the pack. It's just kind of something you expect if you guys miss their pit stop and split up the group. But both groups came in clean and quick, so it's going to get real dicey once these guys get off pit road and merge with the other guys who are already up to speed.
And we see David Lawson wins the battle off pit road out of that second group of cars. So we'll see where they end up.
Yeah, that's a curse, though. These guys behind them are going to get up to speed, and they're going to freight train them. They'll be too fast to even slow down and help them. They're going to have to go right around him. If you get out front, you don't want to be out by much. It's pretty much opposite from every track that you would run, but he's going to get eaten alive when these other guys catch up, and they are pretty well spread out throughout the backstretch here. So some of the guys in the back, they're going to go single file to catch these guys, and with a couple laps to go, this sporadic group spread out is going to be about a 10-12 car pack, it looks like. And I do see Chuck McClure going down again, and it looks like he most likely got a speeding penalty. So as far as the win goes, looks like his night's over.
And here's David Lawson. David Lawson is your race leader, but he is out there all alone, and these guys are going to railroad him.
Yeah, Jeff is going to be probably 10, maybe 15 miles an hour faster. He's just going to blow right by him here. He's going low. Yep, there they go. Oh, boy, they pushed up a little bit. Now he's going to fall back in line, see if he can get up to speed before this next pack swallows him up, too.
Here comes a 4-car pack on the high side, perhaps with a little bit more speed from them.
Yeah, they were able to use, and someone just jumped up in front of them. That'll kill their momentum, but again, they're going to have numbers, and we're down to about 5 to go, and we're looking at possibly 3 wide and 1.
3 wide.
Oh, someone got into the 18. And they are racing back from this point on, so they're still racing front.
So we move
Looks
up.
like Crivello's got it. BZ is behind him. Jim Glau making some big moves. They know this is a race probably to the finish here. No one's got anything for Jeff right now. We'll see if they make a move off of 4. And they're teaming up high. They're not going to get him. This might be Jeff's win.
So 4 laps to go. We're going to have to see if we get a 1-lap shootout or not.
We've got, I think we have a couple of cars a lap down, so it's going to add a lap. We're looking at 4 to go now. We might get a 1-lap shootout. I'm kind of doubting it, but some of these tracks run shorter caution laps than others. I'm not sure how this particular track is set up, so we might have 1-lap shootout, and then if that happens, throw anything out the door about what might happen, because it'll get real crazy.
So we're going to go ahead and throw the caution rewind up and go back and see what happened. Is we can do nothing else besides wait and see if the pace car lights come off. And we're back. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this. As you saw, we had a 4-car pack on the high line with a big run. You see the 18 gets up in front of them, and so that 4-car pack decides to split up. And then it looks like the 09 and the 18 just made caution going into the corner, collected the 201. So that caution took out 2 of our eliminator contenders, and the 088 of Tim Nosker's up there in the top 7.
Yeah, Tim, he's got that horseshoe. He avoided darn near every wreck that happened in front, behind, and around him. And he did exactly what he needed to do to pull off 2 championships, it looks like.
So as we come around here, we will see if the lights do not go out on the pace car this lap, it will be all over.
And Herman there in second place. Herman finished runner-up just last night in the bare bones race at Auto Club, California. Second place here right now, and then tomorrow night in the Aero 88 series. I apologize, getting a few words from pit lane here. They're checking with their spotters too, see if we're going to have a green checker, I guess, finish. But yeah, Herman's in the points lead, I believe, tomorrow night, and he's probably going to look for a win after 2 runner-up finishes.
And the lights stay on. This race is over.
Crivello's going to be the winner. The looks like Herman in second, and who we got here in third? Is that Jim Gloud?
Jim Gloud,
yeah.
P3.
The Jim from Canada gets a podium finish here, so good run for him. And Bernie, he was strong the whole race, up front the whole race. Comes on with a P4, and looks like DeMar rounds up the top 5.
And going all the way back to P7, the 088 back there, Tim Nosker, he will bring home 2 titles tonight, the points championship as well as the eliminator championship. So congratulations to Tim Nosker. We'll see if we can get a word with him after this race. Right now we're going to go ahead and finish this last lap and a half under caution. Looks like we did started the race with 28 cars, still finished 21 cars, and we only had, I want to say, 4 cautions tonight. Really wasn't that bad for this size of a field. It was a lot of good racing out there.
Yeah, I've never seen 4 wide at this track, and when I say this track, I don't mean Daytona. I mean this version of the track. They picked this because it is a racer's track. The setup does matter. Driving ability does matter. It's not just putting a brick on the gas pedal and turning left every 20 seconds. They are really driving it, and you could see by the wrecks that happen, guys turning, the car just not cooperating, sliding right up the track, and that's unfortunately what took out David Lawson and Clef Douth and a few others. But there is tire wear, and it is a factor, and you can see that in the wrecks that came out tonight. Not very many, but each time it was a car not doing what you were telling it to.
And here we go. We got one more lap under caution here before we can head down to Victory Lane and conduct some post-race interviews.
Yeah, I believe they took the white flag lap, so they got about 2 miles to go, and Jeff will be celebrating the big win.
Once again, of course, we want to say thank you to drunkencowjerky.com, as well as OperationRockTheTroops.org, who supporters of veterans, and both of those companies work hand in hand quite a bit and are very familiar with each other, and so that's why we were able to celebrate them both in tonight's race.
And the timing is good too, with Christmas around the corner. Every little bit helps. I know when you mentioned all the proceeds will be going towards charity, and especially military charity, it was a no-brainer. I know me and you had worked a little bit before this whole 2-week-long event came to be about doing a race, and when Dave Cannon said he's going to basically fund it out of his own pocket, I said, well, if the money's going to charity, I'm not going to take my money back and say, we'll just do one race. We'll just go ahead and do two. So, it's a good thing that's going on there, and I think the drivers are having fun. It's one thing to give to charity; it's another to have a ball where you're doing it.
Yeah, if you haven't checked those guys out, OperationRockTheTroops.org, head over there and check those guys out and see what they're all about. For the most part, they're all about providing music concerts, music lessons for veterans. So some really cool stuff over there, and we'll keep an eye on the 80 of Jeff Crivello here and see if we get a burnout tonight. I know some sim racers don't like to do burnouts, as he's getting some door taps here.
Everyone's showing him some love. He's getting door slaps from each side of the bumper, and I think he had some issues with his communications there at the end of the race, and he's trying to get that fixed right now. Be ready for get ready to do an interview afterwards here.
Yep, looks like he dropped out, and so we won't get a burnout tonight, but that's okay. It's not, not everybody likes to. Everybody likes to celebrate in their own fashion.
Yeah, he I can't remember how he usually does it, but he'll be an interesting interview. I'll just tell everyone right now, he keeps it lively and interesting. So he's going to jump back on here in a minute and be ready to chat with us.
So let's go ahead and head down to Victory Lane and see who we can't interview tonight.
We'll go ahead and bring up the winner here. Let's chat with him.
Yeah, we can certainly. We definitely want to get a hold of Jeff Crivello. And we're joined in the booth now. Here he is, Victory Lane, fresh off. Just popped his bottle of champagne. The number 80 car, Jeff Crivello. Jeff, congratulations on the win tonight.
Thanks, boys. It was, I don't know, my car worked good all night, and I thought towards the end I was going to get, I got freight trained because I lost my pusher, but managed to get a good last pit stop, and everything worked out okay, and I had a good pusher, Herman, behind me.
Jeff, I saw what you were talking about there. I think you were in the middle lane, and someone went underneath you, and you kind of got stuck in the middle. I think that was before that last pit stop. How did that? I saw you up front most of the race there. How did it work out at the end, getting up to the front with that last pit stop? Did you have, was it the pit stop that got you there, or did you have a little help along the way, or how did it all work out?
My pit stop was really good, and I would have had great pit stops all night long, but 115 was always pitting in front of me, and the one time I had to bump him to get out, so I lost some ground. But yeah, I thought I was a goner when the 201 decided he had some friends and put me in the middle, and I started sinking like a rock.
Well, you seem to have a knack for the broadcast. I remember, I think it was a Thursday finale a season or two ago. You came out on top on that. So seems like when the broadcast is live, you seem to have some of your best races.
Yeah, lately I've been having some good ones, and I'm glad you guys did not try and interview me during the race, because my mic was dead. So nobody heard me the whole race long until just after the checkered flag, and I had to turn my mic back on.
Well, definitely, yeah, good job, and congrats on the win. We're also joined in the booth, P2 and P3 tonight. Second place tonight, the number 59, Herman Rise. Well, you seem to be making a lot of appearances on these TV shows that we're doing. How was it out there tonight?
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. I was in that first wreck, and I was in 3 wrecks tonight, and I had a total of like 26 seconds worth of damage, and it was everything I could do to hang on to the draft. And right there at the end, I made a pit call. I whispered to Jim, let's just take a half a can and try and beat these guys out. And I just got fortunate and lucky, because if it had gone another 3 or 4 laps, I was a sitting duck. I just tried to stay with Jeff Crivelli. And I want to thank Jim Glaude there for that beautiful Bandit special that I drove tonight, and the Drunken Jerky, Drunken Cow Jerky guys, and you guys for putting it on, and of course RTG and Speed Freaks. It was I wasn't even going to run tonight. I just was a stand-in, and I didn't even qualify. I just was riding around the back to be eye candy, and 2 nights in a row second. Let's see if I can pick one up tomorrow night.
Yeah, you beat my question there. I was just going to ask, after 2 runner-up finishes, what do you have to do tomorrow to end up on top? It's a totally different track, obviously, and different cars and everything, but you're on a roll right now. Just need a little bit more to get to the top.
Yeah, and I'm decent at the Pocono track, and there's a couple of really good guys over there. I mean, this season has been, every night has been packed with super talented guys, and you just saw tonight, one little mistake by somebody and it ends a race, and that's how it's been. It just like I said, I was just very fortunate tonight. It was everything I could do to hang on to the draft. I actually almost retired after the first wreck because it was so slow, and Rick Moon kind of talked me into sticking around. So thanks, Rick. Cost you a spot.
And third place finisher tonight, Jim Glaude in the 72. You as well have been making a lot of appearances on these TV shows. You're having a good couple days here.
Yeah, I'm having a blast. This caliber of racers that we have here is just incredible. Any night of the week, anybody can win. So to be able to finish in third, I was in second place on Friday night. I feel gifted.
Hey Jim, it's Josh. I had my theory completely blown out of the water. I said with about 20 to go, you're going to see guys starting to head off and pit early. In the event there's a caution, it'll play to your benefit. Everyone kind of stayed out till the end, and we had 2 pit stops with big packs of cars, and nobody made a mistake. I didn't see anyone wrecking, anyone spinning, and it looked like everyone did what they needed to do there. Who were you working with there at the end? I know Herman said he's working with you. Did you have a plan with him, or was there anyone else that was helping you out there?
No, I had no plan. When I came in, I actually slid through my pit box, had to back up. So when I came out, I saw Herman, so I hooked up with him. And like my first live race, racing at Daytona, coming down, the same thing, about as many laps. Yellow came out, and I was running with Herman. I was behind him. And I pulled out, and I made the pass. The pack was coming, and I was able actually to get that win. And Herman went from first to, I think, 8th or 9th. So I told myself, whatever happened, I wasn't going to leave his bumper. I was going to push him.
Well, definitely worked for the two of you. He had a good, strong run all night, and Herman's 2 for 2 on runner-up finishes. So good job to both of you.
Thanks.
Thank
I'd
you.
like to also thank Drunken Cow Jerky and all you guys that have put this together. It's been awesome.
And we're joined in Victory Lane by one other person, a driver who is, part MSR owner, as well as two-time champion tonight, the 088 of Tim Nofsker. Tim, congratulations on bringing home both titles tonight, the Eliminator and the Points title.
Thank you, Mark.
Tim, I saw you right at the start. I was counting the positions you would need to finish, and I think we figured you had to be in the top 19, and after 5 laps you were 19th, and you kind of held right where you needed to be. But you had several wrecks. I mean, every time there was a wreck, I looked to see where you and David Lawson were in Clef, and you had some dangerously close calls. I think you got knocked around a couple times in the grass. Did you ever get any damage, or, it looked like it was just a lot of luck with you tonight?
Yeah, it seemed like I was behind every single wreck that happened. The first wreck, I believe it was Mark in the 096. I did make contact with him, but I hit him pretty square and didn't get any damage there. And then after that, it was just more wreck avoidance, where I never really made too much contact with anyone. So I finished the race without having to fix any damage. So got kind of lucky.
Are you running out of room for the trophies on that mantle you got there yet?
Oh, I can always make more room.
Now, Tim, we saw you running in the back for the most of the race. How aware were you of where David and Clef were, or were you even thinking about the Eliminator title out there tonight?
No, I was just going to run my race. I was going to keep a pin on the low side, and a little easier to miss wrecks down there. And I kind of glanced. I mean, those guys are both champions in their own right. So, of course, I'm aware of where they're running, but really it was just about staying in a decent spot and trying to not get involved in too much mayhem. And luckily, every racer here is top notch. So, obviously with what we do, there's going to be incidents, but for the most part, my race was just trying to, I kind of knew where I had to finish, so I was just trying to play it safe and play it smart, and I figure if opportunity presented itself, I'd race it up at the end.
And Jeff Crivello, number 80, our winner tonight here at Daytona in the Drunken Cow Jerky 200. Do you have any parting words?
Yes, I sure do. I would like to thank RTG and the Tuesday Night Speed Freaks. Ended up being a good season. Well, not point-wise for me, but I think this is my second win of the season. Thank you guys at Pony Express for, I'll listen to it later. I'm sure it was a good broadcast. And Drunken Cow Jerky, thank you for sponsoring. And congrats to Timmy on winning the championship.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, I'd like to say a couple of things too. Most of these guys know the last 3 weeks I've been fighting internet issues. Sure like to give a call out to my ISP Mediacom. They suck ass. And then, I want to thank, obviously, Drunken Cow Jerky, DrunkenCowJerky.com for sponsoring. I actually purchased some of this stuff, and it is spectacular. So my favorite's the Hot and the Ghost. So hopefully we're loaded up with that. I know they got a prize come my way. Normally I would forego the prize, but I've had their stuff, so I'm going to take it. I'm not even going to share with my wife. No way. And then I'd also like to thank Bones and Terry and Sean. They pretty much run the operation here at RTG. Great guys, and I don't know why anybody races anywhere else. I mean, this is the place to be. Best drivers, best admins. So definitely like to throw a shout out to them. I'd also like to throw a shout out to my buddy here, Josh, and David Lawson and Wiley. They help run MSR, and we've got a real successful series. So without those guys and all the work they put in, there's no way any of that would happen. Also like to give a shout out to the admins on Tuesday in the Speed Freak series, Bones, Brian Schilling, and Joe Simpson. They're all great guys, and keep the ship running straight. And then also like to thank you guys at Pony Express. I did watch the broadcast last night. It was spectacular. You're doing a great job, and hopefully we can get more races televised for sure. And then also Rock the Troops. I know that has a lot of meaning for you, and I know you've been donating your earnings toward Rock the Troops, so thank you for doing that, and thank you for your service. And that's pretty much it. I think I filled up plenty of airtime there.
Thank you for all the kind words. Herman Rice, any parting words from you, second place finisher tonight?
I know. Yeah. Jeff is whispering me there. No, thanks, guys. I really appreciate you guys putting this on, and it's fun. I mean, it's what we're supposed to be having. It's fun. My foot hurts from pushing so hard, but thank you guys for putting it on. And again, RTG Speed Freaks, Drunken Cow Jerky, and all the guys that come out each week. Enjoy this sim that we have here.
All right, and we'll pass the mic to Jim Glaude one more time.
I'm just going to reflect what the other guy said. Appreciate what all the work that everybody puts in for this, for us to come out and have fun. And I want to back up what Tim said about the soldiers and what you guys do. I appreciate it. I am Canadian, but it affects us up here as well. So I appreciate what you guys do.
And before I close it down, let me hand the mic over to tonight's co-anchor making his broadcast debut, Josh Metallic.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. It was first time, and I had fun. I didn't know what to expect being up in the booth. I'm usually on the track, but I think the guys put on a good show. Like I said, I've seen 4 wide, and I don't think I've ever seen that here at this track, and they made it through. So you saw the green flag pit stops. You know, the guys can race, and they did a great job. I'm sure it'll look good when they go back and review it. I had fun. Look forward to doing it again.
All right, then. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. First off, this was the Drunken Cow Jerky 200, the series sponsor here for the Speed Freak series at Rolling Thunder Gaming. They run every Tuesday night, swapping back and forth between Daytona and Talladega. Tonight you saw we were at Daytona for the season finale. Like Josh said, we saw some 4-wide action, and these guys made it work. So obviously thank you to all the drivers for putting on a hell of a show. RTG, you know, Terry Bowman, Sean Prime, and David Bones Cannon. I could pull Bones up here in the booth. He requested that I do not interview him on the air. I'm going to honor that request since he made such a generous donation to Operation Rock the Troops. But definitely big thanks to Terry, Sean, and David Cannon. Race LM servers, you know, once again, another broadcast race goes off without a hitch. Great servers, great stats, great race cast. Thanks to all the veterans out there. You know, Joe Simpson, one of the admins over here, active duty Navy, thanks to him, and all the other veterans who were in this race or watching the race. This is Pony Express Broadcast Network. This is our 4th race in about as many days, but tune in tomorrow night because we're not done. We're going to be back with the Aero 88 series tomorrow. The Too Slow Graphics 200 live from Pocono. That's the Terry Bowman series. And Herman's going to be capping off his championship run there tomorrow. So be sure and join us tomorrow night at Pony Express Broadcast Network. And once again, thank you to our co-anchor tonight, Josh Metallic. And we hope you all drive safe on the way home.